The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
Marvel is in a bad place. The more and more articles I see about their upcoming films, the greater the sense of apathy builds. Not just from me, but from society in general. We're a few days out from Shang-Chi and no one cares. Hell, there was a free preview screening just a few days ago, and I haven't seen enough people talking about the film to warrant a spoiler warning. I thought the hype was supposed to be real. We can smell a stinker a mile away, but Shang-Chi has been stinking up this joint for a while now. The general complaint is, who is Shang-Chi and why should I care? The answer? He's nobody and you shouldn't. More importantly, Disney and Marvel, they know that you don't care, and I have the actor to prove it. The release of Marvel's Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings will mark the first major Asian American Marvel superhero on the big screen. Let's stop right there for a second. Simu Liu is not the first Asian American to portray a Marvel character. Olivia Munn is. Olivia Munn played Psylocke in X-Men Apocalypse, and she's as Asian American as Simu Liu. I can't believe I just said that. As Asian American. The world sucks, but lying sucks just as much. Stop with the firsts narrative. First this, first that. If first is most important, Psylocke wins, though I'm sure more research will further the point that Simu Liu is not the first even more. I digress. With the titular martial arts expert, known as Marvel Universe's greatest hand-to-hand fighter, played by Simu Liu, and it is a destiny that Liu brought upon himself. Back in 2014, the Chinese-Canadian actor, who is best known for the popular TV sitcom Kim's Convenience, tweeted, "Hey Marvel, great job with Captain America and Thor, now how about an Asian American hero?" 5 years later, as news of his casting broke, he replied to his own tweet with, "LOL." Liu certainly looks the part, but he couldn't believe it when he first got the phone call from Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige. "I reacted by crying hysterically into my pillow," he tells Total Film, and the responsibility bore down on his shoulders as he hit the gym to get his torso superhero ready. It's certainly quite a bit of pressure, I have to say. I loved superhero movies growing up. I loved Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, but I was always keenly aware of people who looked like me could not look like that. Did this dude grow up in solitary confinement? I loved superhero movies growing up. I loved Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, but I was always keenly aware that people who looked like me could not look like that. What a bunch of forced PR bullshit. Before I get too mad, what even is a superhero? Well, a superhero is a stock character that possesses superpowers, abilities beyond those of ordinary people, and fits the role of the hero, typically using his or her powers to help the world be a better place, or dedicating themselves to protecting the public and fighting crime. Oh, so like Batman, Spider-Man, Bruce Lee. What was that? I called Bruce Lee a superhero. As per the definition above, Bruce Lee possesses powers above those of normal men. He uses them to fight good and dedicates himself to fighting crime and corruption. In Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee plays Lee, a highly proficient martial artist and instructor from Hong Kong. He's approached by British intelligence, who are investigating a suspected crime lord named Han. Lee's job is to attend a high-profile martial arts tournament on Han's private island, gather evidence that will prove Han's involvement in drug trafficking and prostitution. That sounds like a mission for James Bond, Batman, and literally every superhero that has ever existed. Infiltrate an island nation, take down its leader, or dealer in this case. Step 3, profit. James Bond and Live and Let Die, Batman and the Strange Secret of Bruce Wayne, John Sable, and everything. Is it because Bruce Lee didn't wear a costume? That's fair. He never had any iconic looks. No, Mr. Liu must be mistaken because nobody like Bruce Lee could inspire anyone, right? He couldn't matter to anyone. He's too old and uncool and... Well, idiots who believe this. It's safe to say there's no man or woman alive today who hasn't heard the name Bruce Lee. Lee was more than just an actor and entertainer. He was considered by many to be larger than life. No other martial artist in history has been able to popularize martial arts the way Lee has. Through martial arts, Lee became a global phenomenon and an idol for many during the 1960s and 70s. Today, more than 40 years after his death, he continues to be an inspiration to millions around the world. It's well known that Bruce Lee was an inspiration for many popular martial artists and fighters, including boxing and MMA legends like Manny Pacquiao, Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson, George St. Pierre, and Randy Couture, among many others. Even UFC President Dana White has credited Lee for being the main inspiration for being the fastest growing sport in the world, calling him the father of MMA. However, Lee didn't just inspire martial artists. His life and teachings inspired famous athletes, businessmen, entrepreneurs, entertainers, artists, and even politicians from all around the world. Bruce Lee was not only respected for his skills as a martial artist, but also for his level of fitness. He single-handedly changed the landscape of strength and physical development during his time, inspiring many athletes, bodybuilders, and even average men to adopt his approach to training. From being able to perform one-handed push-ups with just 2 fingers and holding a 125-pound barbell at arm's length in front of him for several seconds, Lee was a real-life Superman. Growing up in Hong Kong, Bruce Lee was taught the ways of many traditional martial arts, and at the time it was against the rules to stray from the traditional teachings of the martial arts. However, Lee never allowed anything to limit him in martial arts or in life. He went on to invent Jeet Kune Do, a system of hybrid fighting style based on his philosophies of being formless and limitless. Many of Lee's achievements came from his ability to overcome limits. As the founder of Jeet Kune Do and the master of martial arts, he became one of the most revered and well-respected people in the world, and he did this all during a time when the Chinese were still stereotyped as meek house servants and railroad workers. It's no secret that Bruce Lee lived and breathed martial arts. Many of his friends and loved ones describe him as being a man obsessed with perfection. He would do splits or sit-ups while watching television or work out with a dumbbell while reading the latest fitness magazine. Lee never stopped working towards being the best version of himself. His dedication to self-improvement is mind-blowing and certainly something we can all draw inspiration from. There's no denying how great Bruce Lee was. His ideals and philosophies transcend martial arts, race, gender, and culture. He has always been and always will be an inspiration to all of us. That's just one, right? No other Asian actor is seen like this. So I guess Mr. Liu is terribly mistaken or he lacks any pop culture. I know it's a little much to call Bruce Lee a superhero, but that's what he was. People still look up to him like Superman. Just look at how people freaked out over his portrayal in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Bruce Lee is a big deal, and it's hard to take up the mantle of injustice when real Asian superheroes were here all along. Simu Liu is just another stupid millennial who says stupid things online, hoping people don't realize how stupid he is. Guys, Shang-Chi looks ridiculous on its own. It doesn't need the specter of social justice to kill it, but Simu Liu just wants to open Pandora's box, so here we are. It doesn't help either that the CEO of Disney is a twit. Disney boss Bob Chapek said the company's release strategy for Marvel's Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings will be an interesting experiment, since rather than going to the theater just for Disney Plus or the combination of Disney Plus Premier Access thing, wherein it debuts in both places at the same time, like Black Widow. The company is going to keep it exclusive to theaters for just 45 days, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. So apparently that doesn't go over too well with the actor who plays Shang-Chi. Now, the only historical moment on the horizon for this film is the failure in the making that is Shang-Chi. It's almost sad. I want this actor to have a big, successful career. This was supposed to be his big star-making role as Marvel's Bruce Lee ripoff. Wait, you didn't know that part about Shang-Chi? Well, whether from actual history or the creators' personal lives, many Marvel characters are modeled off real people. From Shang-Chi, the titular character of the upcoming film Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, that template was none other than Bruce Lee. To capitalize on the martial arts craze that struck America during the 1970s, Marvel decided to create a new hero that would fit both the trend and bring in more diverse audiences, and they couldn't think of a more perfect model for their newest hero than the king of Kung Fu himself. Created by Steve Englehart, Al Milgrom, and Jim Starlin, Shang-Chi made his first appearance in 1973's Special Marvel Edition number 15. Similar to Lee, the character is a master of advanced martial arts and is of Chinese descent. According to Roy Thomas, Stan Lee's successor at Marvel, Shang-Chi was designed specifically to look and feel like Bruce Lee. So a derivative character has a movie coming out and no one cares. How perfect. It'll be fun, so let's do it. Guess the box office for Shang-Chi. Disney's busy with lawsuits and the Rona, so they aren't sweetening up the numbers like they did for Captain Marvel. White women needed to prove a point about how tough and independent they were. At all costs, and it cost a lot of money to make people think Brie Larson was that. Maybe next time it would be cheaper to deepfake an actor who gives a shit. It's easier to get a smile that way. The movie's out next Thursday and fans are somewhere else. The toys are already being massively clearanced. People never had time to move on from Shang-Chi because they never got excited in the first place. Shang-Chi, pronouns pal, looks generic and forgettable. Shang-Chi may have had the worst luck possible for a Marvel film. Oh well, Disney. Oh well. So what do you guys think of this situation? Marvel, you got a failure in the making. Come on now, guys. No one gives a shit about Shang-Chi, including anyone here listening. So show of hands down in the comment, who's more interested in the train wreck than actually watching the film? Well, I won't tell which side I'm on either. But folks, thank you for watching. On the way out, hit that thumbs up button and make sure you're subscribed to this channel for more content. We're nearing our 1,000th video. We're getting closer. We're ramping up to get to 200,000 subscribers. So tell everyone about us. This is the channel. This is the first channel of the Fans of Menace, and we've been here since the beginning, and we keep on growing. So I want to thank each and every one of you for making that possible. If you'd like to help change pop culture, join our Patreon page. $1 a month goes a long way, but $5, which is only 17 cents a day, gets you access to all kinds of exclusive digital content, a bonus show on Sundays, early access to pre-recorded shows, and a lot more. And if you're not into Patreon, it's coming to YouTube very soon with the membership program, so be on the lookout for that. Marvel, it's in the death throes. Usually I see a Marvel collectible go up for pre-order, and I'm like, that looks pretty cool. I kind of want it. I saw something today when I went, that is an overpriced piece of shit, and I will never give my money for something so god-awful. And that's how I feel about Marvel movies in general. They're just god-awful, but hey, it's been a fun ride, and I'm going to document the train wreck. So subscribe to this channel. We cover every topic very well: Star Wars, Captain Marvel, regular Marvel proper, so join us now, and we're going to cover this, the Inhumans. Don't even get me started on that one. There'll be a lot of talk next time. So folks, thank you for watching. Be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other.